Hello everyone, good morning or good very late night, right? Because in the States they moved the clock. It's called something like daylight saving time or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, what's the translation for in Israel? You just call it summer clock, winter clock. Anyway, so I guess now it's pretty late for some of you, and still I hope you'll find the time to be with us. We have many questions, many from last lesson people are asking there, so I need to relate to that and then we'll move forward. Okay, so let's begin. Good. Now, from lesson number 7. Anthony is asking, or Francis is asking, I still have more questions about love of children, parents, wife, etc. Why do I feel like finding a girlfriend? Why is there such a strong desire in me? Just like there is a strong desire in somebody else for money or pride or knowledge, that's how the will to receive works. If the question is why were you giving a specific desire and somebody else another, that's because of your role or your position in the general soul. It's more complicated to explain. Is it just human condition? Yes, but every human condition has a reason. Also, why do parents always tell me that the best thing they did in life was to be parents? Well, I don't know what parents you're talking to, but it really depends in what time do you catch them. Is it during a time when the children are sick and they don't sleep much and or don't have any time for themselves, or other times when everybody is more chilled or the children grew. There are also studies that show that actually happiness levels of parents is going down after the first child and then goes up when it goes to college. But still, there is something very special in being a parent, that it's natural in a way that it's something that continues you, that you get a different perception of life. So in spirituality, you are either nullified to the upper, meaning to the creator, or you nullified towards the lower, meaning towards the ones you bestow to. And so in our world, it was natural for many years that either you are under the control of the parents for many years, and after that you build your own family and you're in control of your children. So you're like the point in between in the chain. Today it's not much like that, because people don't see the reason and the purpose, so you have a lot of time that people are on their own. Very similar to like being a small child that doesn't want to have anyone any responsibility or anyone to take care of, because that's a form of slavery for the will to receive. So what was the question? Why do parents always tell me? Because again, when you have children, you have some kind of an example. What does it mean to sense life or to experience life or pleasure, not in an egoistic way directly, although it's still egoistic when it's your child. If I stop seeing myself separate from all, meaning if I stop identifying as the body, does that mean I should love my neighbor's children the same way I would love my own children? Yes and no. Because on that level, when you don't identify with your body, when you feel one with the reality, there is no boundaries, then of course there is no difference between your children and somebody else's children on one hand. On the other hand, as long as we are in the corporal body, we still work in degrees, we still work in circles. That's why a person must take care of, first of all, of his own body, then of his own family, then of his own city, and it goes in circles. And this is something that you need to take care of in corporality. Otherwise, you become, how do you say, a nettle, like, like additional weight on the society, like you have in ships that you need to throw it into the water. Let me check how it is. What's the right word for that? Burden. Yeah, I knew that. So you become a burden, and that's like opposite to bestow. So you first need to take care of your own children and your own family. Okay, next question. Ahmed is asking, what is the clear difference between intention and desire? What is the relation between them? Well, they're completely two different things. Desire, you know what, it's really a question what you relate by desire. So you have a need, okay? Let's say you have a need, you have a will to receive, something that lacks pleasure, okay? And then if this will to receive has a form, what is the form of the pleasure? Is it a form like in Francis' case, a girlfriend, or is it a form of money, or is it a form of a new position or a vacation? Then it's called the desire, because it's already has like some kind of vector. What is the form that it needs to receive? If it's only a will to receive, it's just emptiness, it's depression, it doesn't have a form, okay? So you have a desire. Now, when you have a desire, now, well, that's it, because all of the intention is for oneself, so you don't have any other options. So it's always, every desire is about making myself feeling better, and or feeling less pain. But if you're talking about spirituality, there is another option, which is an intention for somebody else, for something else, meaning not living for one's own body, but living for something more general, more greater than you, bigger than you. And this is usually called either the Ten, the Shekhinah, divinity, the Creator, different names, different things. Lear is basically saying that I talked too much and I wasn't clear about the question of free choice, and basically that in the end I say there is no free choice, or that I say that there is no free choice in preferring pain over pleasure, but there is free choice in the intention for oneself or the Creator. Yeah, you've said it correctly. So it really depends on what resolution you want to talk. Some resolution you can say there is no free choice. On others you can say yes, the free choice is only between the intentions for the Creator or for oneself. In another resolution you can say that free choice is only about choosing between going with my egoistic instincts or going with what Kabbalist writes, or what the 10 engage in, and I want to be part of that 10 because I want to be part of that soul. Yeah, but if you try to tell yourself, if you're trying to tell yourself that you can overcome pain, well, you cannot. Or the calculation, a person cannot do anything by himself. This is like fighting windmills. It won't work. Sophie is asking, is it true that Kabbalah is forbidden for women? No, it's not, but for many years when Kabbalah was concealed, then there were many ways of pushing people away from that. Part of that was that people would go crazy by studying Kabbalah, that women cannot study, that you can only study Kabbalah when you're 40, which means that I can actually start studying in this coming summer, which is pretty nice. Etc. etc. Okay, but today it's for everybody. Kabbalah just opened it for everybody and said that the time has come that all of humanity should study now. Now let me just write Francis that I answered it in number 8, also Ahmed that I answered it, also Lear that I answered it. People are taking the time to write questions, so I'll take the time to tell them that at least I answered that. Somebody is saying EE, which I don't know what it means. And the last question from Priolio. I don't know how to pronounce that. Priolio Green. I have a question about the perception of reality. Kabbalah teaches us the world is perfect, however, our will to receive does not let us see perfection. Kabbalah also teaches we will receive blows to get us out of our will to receive. How do we know what is perfection and what is a blow? Actually, this is something that changes. You cannot know. It's very subjective, so every time you define a blow and pleasure as something else. When you were 5-year-old, you saw pleasure as candies. Maybe when you're 40 years old and you have a teeth ache, or pains in the teeth, I don't know how to say that. So you can actually determine that candies is bad for you. So these things change all the time, depends on your level of development. But what Kabbalah says, and this is true, and you wrote it very nicely, that in contradiction to any other religion or any other method that says that or assumes that there is some kind of problem with the world or with the Creator, and not only if I'll get along with the Creator or I'll fix and correct the world, everything will be better. Kabbalah actually says everything is perfect, you have nothing to correct but yourself. So and it's not like the Creator is sometimes treating you bad and sometimes good, and so you should get along with him or do good things so he will treat you good. Actually, he treats you good all the time. There is no change in the Creator. It's a law, it's a field of it's a force field, it's something that is constant. Kabbalah also teaches we will receive blows to get us out of our will to receive. Yes, so you can either, so again, you need to discover how farther away you are from balance with nature. So either you will get huge blows because you're not sensitive enough, so you need to get to a lot of imbalance, and then you'll feel that because we are sensing creatures, you will feel that as huge pain. So you need to either get blows, which will be not nice, or on the contrary, when you move forward and you increase your sensitivity because you want to be in balance with nature, and you start to sense and understand and feel what does it mean to be in imbalance, then very small things seem to you as a blow. So it's not the same blow. Somebody from the side would look at you and say, what? This is a blow? This is nothing. On the other hand, for you, it will be the end of the world because you're becoming very sensitive for that. So again, everything really changes. So I can't really say. Having said that, I have answered all the questions in the number 7. Now let's see if we have today's questions. Ingrid, what does it mean honor the mother and father in Kabbalah? It means that you need to always take the like, how do you say, like the mind and like the mind or the guidance of your higher degree, which in Kabbalah are called mother and father, Abba Ve'ima, upon your own. So you always need to give effort in order to resemble the upper one, to be more in bestow. Shalom from Mexico, shalom to you too. Okay, Len is having a problem with his internet, so we'll check on later. Okay, more questions. Gay, so Daniel, maybe it's Daniel. My mom thinks Kabbalah is evil. What can I tell her? I don't know. I don't know, like, why does she think Kabbalah is evil? A, how can I change her mind? B, well, like you change every other person's mind. Either you let them, you expose it to them and see, maybe they'll see that it's not as they thought. Or on the contrary, you need to show her that Kabbalah brings good things into her life. So maybe if she will see that you're happier, that you becoming a better son, suddenly you give her presents and you're telling her, hey, I've learned today in Kabbalah that I should give my mother a present every day. Maybe she'll think it's better. Sadir is asking, hi from Bombay. Will I ever be getting opportunity to shift to Europe? Life is running in India. Well, I don't know about that. This is something you should answer yourself. If you want it enough and you'll make a plan to do it, and maybe with others, then you'll increase your chances of doing that. Will you be successful? That's really up to you. Is it a Kabbalah related question? No, it's not. Okay. Now let's move forward with the book. Okay. So we're on page, let me check. Yeah, 171, right? Yes, 171. And the question is, since everything is determined above, where is the freedom of choice? Oh, Leah, this is for you. Okay, so if we are all under strict systems of laws and everything is determined, and we operate from within through our genes, through our bacteria, through our thoughts, through all the electric waves we get in, bursts we get in our neurons, or from the outside, by society, by the world, by everything, then do we have a free choice actually? So man's only free choice, man's only freedom is in the choice of environment, the society that affects us. You can read about it in Balas Sulam's essay, The Freedom. Everyone's path is completely predetermined. The only way to go is forward, meaning up to the Creator. We should want to do it ourselves. Consequently, how do you pronounce that? Today, some days are easier, some days are harder. It's really not good.
Consciously.
The consciously. Okay, it's like from conscience. Consciously. Okay. Today is not an easy day. Okay. We should want to do it ourselves consciously, but if we don't, nature will force us to want to progress. Okay, so we discussed that. So this is another answer you can add to your arsenal, that it's about a choice of society. But again, it's a spiritual society, not just any society. If the Creator made creation in order to delight His creations, why does He deny us pleasure? Again, it's a question about the Creator, which is completely fruitless. In Kabbalah, we don't do that. Like it's pure philosophy to ask about the Creator. Why did He do that? Why did He do this? Why did He acted like this? He doesn't. He always operates in the same frequent, you say again, like on the same wave. It is not the Creator who denies us the pleasure. The reason we suffer is because of our oppositeness from Him, or imbalance, what we said. He is absolute goodness, and when we want to be like that too, we will see that all He does is impart to us. Abundance and pleasures. But as long as we are opposite from Him, we cannot receive those pleasures because we are detached from Him. Who can study this wisdom? Oh, Sophia, this is for you. When Rav Kook was asked who was permitted to study Kabbalah, he replied, anyone who wants to. If a person really wants to study, it is a sign that he or she is ready. Next bunch of questions are about body, soul, and reincarnation. Opa, my chair fell. Reincarnation. Okay, let's see if we have questions from you before we move to reincarnation. Shalom to David. Okay. No questions here. Ahmed. So all our intentions is really selfish without screen. Actually a screen, a definition of screen in Kabbalah is intention in order to bestow. If you don't have a screen, you don't have intention in order to bestow, you can only have egoistic intention. Okay. More questions? No. So, let's move forward. Good. Body, soul, and reincarnation. Does the Creator have a body? Not only does the Creator not have a body, but we too, creation, do not have a body. A creature is not a corporal, physical, biological body, but a pure desire to be filled with the light of the Creator. This desire exists in each of us, and it is that which Kabbalists call a soul. Okay, so we have like a body. Okay, the soul is divided into parts named after parts of the body. However, there is no connection between those parts and the parts of the soul that are called by names of organs of our corporal body. Kabbalists have simply found a way to express concepts in the spiritual world using words from this world. They do that by taking words of this world and using them to depict spiritual powers, which are the roots, the origins of those objects. These powers could not be expressed except through the language of roots and branches. Maybe we'll explain that like this. So, each one of us is a piece of desire, will to receive, that wants to receive pleasure. And in each one of us there is a spark, like a point in the heart, a potential, a seed of the general soul. When one develops that seed, he finds out that actually this seed is part of a much bigger system, that as long as he had only a seed and the desire dressed in a corporal body, he saw it, this general system, in others. So he saw many others, because a person can see only what a person is. So he saw in others corporal bodies that have a desire at some point in the heart. When he evolves spiritually, he actually realized that this seed can only grow through connecting to other seeds or to other parts. And to the extent that he does that, what he actually reveals is that there is no points but only one general soul. That all these points were just parts of. And in order to describe this general soul, in their, because what Kabbalists do are just writing down the findings of this research or this study that they do on themselves, like the spiritual journey of, like a diary of the spiritual journey, then they needed words to describe this general soul. And they usually used words from our world. So sometimes you'll see that they refer to a part that is called Rosh or head in the general soul, or part that is called the heart, and other parts, etc., etc. But it's not like the creator. And another thing, like the creator is actually the life, the sensation of life. Just like in this corporal body, we sense what we call corporal life, just like animals. Then what we sense in this general soul, the force of life we sense in the general soul, is called the creator, which is the field that holds it all and feels it all. Okay. What does it mean to disseminate Kabbalah? Humanity acquires knowledge about itself and the world by researching itself and its surroundings. We create fantasies for anything we cannot understand but wish to. These are based on analogy, speculations, and calculated conjectures grounded in whatever we already know. But however hard we try, we cannot speculate or imagine a part of the universe we have never felt. Analogy will not help either, since our senses have never experienced anything similar. Kabbalah creates, or more accurately develops, a new sense in us. Only by developing this sense does one begin to feel that world. Only then is it clear that no fantasy could possibly help us perceive it. One cannot convey such feeling to others who lack this sense. If one possesses this sense, another can pass along spiritual sensations, but only to the extent that the recipient has developed this sense. Hence, on the one hand, Kabbalah is a science because we develop a sense of the surrounding space and research it using strictly scientific method. On the other hand, Kabbalah differs from all other natural methods, as it is impossible to research that world without first acquiring the special sense for it. Only to the extent that one feels that world does one begin to feel and perceive things differently. One who doesn't feel it is unable to imagine it. The meaning and the goal of disseminating Kabbalah is to bring all people to feel the need to develop their souls and experience the spiritual worlds for themselves. Disseminating Kabbalah gives us a method for such a development and teaches us how to use this newfound sense. That is why Kabbalah is a special science and not a religion. Okay. Questions? Let's see if we have questions. Here we don't have questions. Wow. Okay, here we have a lot of questions. Muhammad is asking, please say something about a prayer. Prayer in Kabbalah is actually the desire you have for the Creator. So in Hebrew, to pray actually means to judge oneself. So once you understand how Kabbalists define the Creator and you want to come closer to Him, the gap that you reveal between what you want and what you are now is called a prayer. And you don't have to say it in words, it's in your heart. Jack is asking, do some people have no capacity outside of the ego, like they only exist on the lower worlds but aren't really souls? Most people just existed as animals, just like more sophisticated animals, as long as they operate for one's own, and they are only moved by their natural instincts and desires, and they don't rise above them into a connection with others and reveal in this connection with others a new sense, as we just talked. Then it's said that everybody are similar to animals. It is said in the sages said that very nicely, like in the Zohar, it's also written. So Muhammad is asking, is Zohar a prayer book? No, Zohar is more like a finding books. What's special about the Zohar, and we're talking about it, is that it's maybe the one time in history that a group of 10 Kabbalists sat together, connected to the higher degree possible, and through the connection between them, just described very specifically all the structure of reality from the highest point to the lowest point. Where were we? Jack is asking the same question. I've answered that. Sadir is asking, what is the reason I took... What is the reason I took birth in India? Is it karma? Well, Kabbalah doesn't talk about karma, but actually every one of us was given the best situation and the best condition for them to move forward to the Creator. And if I was born in India or in Africa or in the States, and if I'm born a woman or a man, or if I'm born stupid or wise, this is exactly what my point in the heart or my seed of soul needs in order to evolve. And if you take upon yourself to engage in spirituality and to develop, then you'll reveal what is your special place in that system, and why were you giving these specific conditions in order to evolve. Ahmad is asking, is there an Arab group from KBU I can connect to? Well, Ahmad, I'll tell you frankly, there are many people studying from Arab nations, but because the main center is in Israel, this can create some problems. Unfortunately, our world is not corrected, and there are many political and national conditions that we need to take into consideration, and so there is no official one, but there are many people studying in Persian, in Arabic, and so we have students from that study in Arabic from Europe, or where it's more convenient, but from Arab states that's more of a problem. But I'm not certain if it's in KBU, but actually if you're registered to KBU, just send them an email and they can refer you to the people who study and learn in Arabic. There's a question from Victoria, where did Kabbalah attain its philosophical premises? I wouldn't say philosophical premises. Maybe you want to ask, how do Kabbalists know what they write or explain? Because they studied themselves, they studied nature, they evolved, and they write what they found out, just like in any other science. Okay, good. So let's see if we have more questions. No more questions. Okay, so next time we'll continue. It would be on Thursday morning Israel time, or Now it's Wednesday night, or maybe it's already midnight in New York. I'm not sure now with the daylight saving time. But in case you've missed that, for example, Blake wasn't around, so I guess that's the reason. And other students we usually see from North America, they weren't around, so maybe you watch it recorded, and if you have questions, please write them down, and as you see, I'll begin every session with answering the previous questions. So thank you very much, and have a nice day, nice night, and see you next time.